Has graphic content. A school district cop caught masturbating at a middle school gets promoted while under investigation. That's what Contact 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears uncovered in a case many say paints a picture of a department where police protect their own.
The school district expects its employees to make the right decisions on a daily basis and every day. That's the expectation that's been given down by the superintendent, department heads, and everyone else.
School police took swift action in December, arresting a custodian caught masturbating into a teacher's belongings in a Dondero Elementary School classroom. Michael Timothy Skelton pled guilty and will serve 2 years in prison. But Contact 13 discovered the cop who headed up the investigation had a dark secret of his own.
How would it look if it got out that he was involved in the same type of activity that he was investigating?
You're listening to an interview conducted by School Police Internal Affairs in March 2012. Sergeant Mitch Makazak was being investigated for something that happened years before when he was a detective working adult education at Garside Middle School.
A fellow officer opened the door to the police office here on the Garside campus. He says he saw Makazak jump back, bend over to cover himself and run into a back office. Makazak's belt was lying on the desk and there was Asian pornography on the computer screen.
Circumstances similar to those Makazak investigated in the custodian's case.
Is it fair for you with a background like that to be investigating a case like this? Do you see a possible conflict of interest?
There is no conflict of interest.
Makazak is no stranger to allegations of sex acts on the job. What is strange for him is having to answer publicly for his actions.
This was a case that our research tells us involved you personally and an internal affairs investigation and masturbation at Garside and pornography. What can you tell us about the information that we've been given?
Where you're speaking of a personnel issue, and I'm not comfortable in speaking with that.
Other officers were not comfortable speaking out about Makazak's behavior until sources say it became impossible to ignore. Officer Mike Thomas heads the police union's grievance committee.
Taken as a whole, I think there's a pattern that did give me some concern.
Specifically, sex on the job at school police headquarters. Investigators were told Makazak was getting oral sex from another department employee in his assigned school district vehicle.
On at least one occasion, he allegedly took her into his work office and had sex with her.
I think if you have impulses that you can't keep in check and you bring them into the workplace, then I think that's an issue.
The other issue Internal Affairs investigated is something Officer Thomas witnessed firsthand. December 18th, 2010, the Police Officers Association Christmas party, attended by about 125 department employees and their guests.
And that you saw Detective Makazak, who you felt was obviously intoxicated, taking his camera phone, sticking up women's skirts and taking pictures of their skirts?
Yes.
Multiple people who were at the party tell Contact 13 they saw it too.
To say he was out of control was an understatement.
The behavior described is a clear violation of the school police code of conduct. Sanctions are supposed to get stricter with each additional offense. According to this internal memo Contact 13 obtained, the complaints against Makazak were fully investigated and the appropriate administrative action was taken. We don't know what that action was, but we do know Makazak was promoted to sergeant during the investigation and even acts as a department spokesman, including in the case of custodian Michael Skelton.
This employee chose consciously to do the wrong thing and make the wrong decision. Therefore, he has to face the consequences that have been dealt to him.
CCSD Police Captain Ken Young was supervising the interview we did with Sergeant Makazak. When we tried to ask more questions, Captain Young abruptly ended the interview. District officials refused to go on camera, saying this is a personnel matter, but they confirmed action was taken after an administrative investigation. Tricia.
Darcy, what kind of response have you been hearing since this story broke?
Well, just this afternoon, take a look. This letter right here, this was sent out to the families of Garside Junior High, but it's strangely vague and it likely leaves parents with more questions than answers. It says the school was recently in the news regarding accusations concerning a person assigned to the school in 2006. It says, we want you to know that this report does not involve any of the staff or students currently at our school. The letter doesn't name Sergeant Mitch Makazak, and it doesn't acknowledge that he's a current CCSD cop with access to every school district campus. Tricia.
All right, Darcy, thank you.